Yeah, that's Jake. He's in the cold tub. I'm here. I'm in the cold tub. 12-2, first place, best team in the NFL. How's that sound? Jump on in with us to the cold tub. You know, Jake, in that cold open right there, it's got you spitting water out in the cold tub. Were you the kind of guy who would drink the cold tub water?
Never, dude. That's disgusting. Was there guys that would put that in their mouths?
I would always just take a nice big, if you're thirsty, you drink it. If you got to go, you got to go. And then you drink. I mean, whatever, man. I mean, it's kind of
Whatever
strengthens the
happens in
immune.
the cold tub is just disgusting and gross. It's not quite like that in my recollection, but maybe you did that, Nate. Maybe that's your secret sauce.
What happens in the cold tub stays in the cold tub, some people say. But not here. Not this show. Not now. Jake Plummer. Wait, over there. Remote today. I'm Nate Jackson, and we're reacting to a pretty amazing game. The Broncos won 34-26. They were underdogs at home against the Packers. The Packers are a very good team, well coached, kind of very comparable teams, really good defenses, pretty good offenses, middle of the road, well coached teams, cerebral, offensive minded head coaches, good young quarterbacks. But it was a heck of a game. I was there, very loud playoff atmosphere. And now the Broncos, I don't know. Can you dispute this? I think they're the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think this win was definitely one at home. Obviously helps. Being on the road, who knows what could have happened, but they really handled this team, the Green Bay Packers, which was a team everybody's talking about with possible MVP candidate and peaking at the right time and playing great in all phases. And yes, they did lose their number one defensive player. Sad to see him hurt, Michael Parsons, get hurt.
Yeah.
As maybe things would be a little different, but all in all three phases, what a great game, by defense coming up physical early and playing hard late, gassing out that Packers offense. I think I saw the Packers get tired. Bo having another phenomenal, I think the best game so far, possibly in his career, in my mind. I mean, the throws he made, guys stepping up, just an overall win. It was really awesome. Great time for them to step up as an underdog at home, which can piss you off, right, Nate? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when you're a player, when you don't get respect, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really what we play for is respect. They've been getting disrespected all year. Oh, they're only a fourth quarter team. Well, sorry, they've won how many games in a row now? 12 games in a row?
11.
11? What do you say now? What are the doubters going to say now?
Yeah, and Sean Payton, clearly a master at communication, the psychological game, has been using that sort of national disrespect as a catalyst to get these guys ready to play, which you absolutely should. I mean, it's not just X's and O's. We've learned that from previous coaches who've been really brilliant offensive minds who come in and try to be a head coach, and they couldn't master that part of it, right? Preparing a team to play, getting their minds right, dealing with all the compartments that are involved in being a head coach. And Sean Payton's doing a masterful job. Coach of the year candidate, if you're asking me. He's looking pretty damn good. And you talked about Bo Nix and the game he had, 23 of 34, 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
0 sacks.
Zero sacks, right? So let's give some props to the offensive line because it's not just like Bo in a vacuum,
and he is
Superman.
Yes, and he had some huge escapes at certain times, and that's what it takes. I mean, to have one of the best games of his career, he did a lot of good things.
Yeah, that stadium was rocking. It was super loud. Yeah. Everyone was really into it. Playoff atmosphere, especially in that fourth quarter. And what I really love to see as a former wide receiver, 4 guys in that room scoring touchdowns. And it got started off by Michael Bandy. We're going to get into this film here in a little bit, but I thought it was pretty cool to see that guy, coming off the practice squad. He works his ass off. He's like, everyone loves him. And you could see it after he scored that touchdown. He spiked the ball or did whatever he did with the ball. And both Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix were sprinting after the ball to go get the ball and bring it to Michael Bandy. And then everyone embraced him on the sideline. And that's what got the scoring started off. But you can tell this is a team that loves playing together. They love each other, and it shows up on the field.
I mean, that's paramount and most important thing with any team that's going to try and go deep and win a Super Bowl. It starts with the players. Everything outside of what happens on the field is important. it's a must to have great ownership, great coaches, great community service, great everything. But the main thing is the players and that team and that roster of people, of individuals that you assemble. And right now, this team loves each other, and you can feel it. You can see it. I mean, it starts, obviously starts with their leaders, Bo being one of those, one of the most, instrumental ones. And you love seeing a young man like Bandy get a chance, practice squad, being on the bubble, not knowing if he's probably going to play or come up, and he's working. They still work their asses off in practice and go to every meeting and study just like they're going to play. So really cool to see him get his first touchdown. And yeah, you got to love that.
Another couple takeaways for me that I really love to see: Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain both getting their first interceptions of the season, which is kind of crazy to say, especially the defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain. That's his first pick, and it was a doozy. It was a game-changing pick. We're going to go over this in a little bit when we watch the film. Dre Greenlaw and Alex Singleton led the team in tackles. Dre Greenlaw had some big moments there.
Yeah.
The defensive line, you mentioned it. Packers getting worn down in the second half, and the defensive line just blood in the water, just attacking. I mean, Jordan Love couldn't do anything back there, and you just felt them sort of folding up, and the Broncos just kind of growing in size and scope at the end of the game there.
Yeah, the takeaway for me is that interior line on both sides of the ball for the Broncos. I think we're seeing an offensive line gel with the Broncos and know what they got back there as a running back and Harvey and the sprinkling of the other guys, and then what they got with Bo. We're seeing that O-line really gel and become a cohesive unit that's opening up enough of a hole to establish and continue what I was liking. And I have notes in the third quarter. Wow, they're running the ball. Patience with the run game. They kept doing a little bit of that. And then that D-line, I mean, man, watching Cooper, Benito, and those interior guys fire off the ball late in the game. About 5 minutes left, I wrote down, this D-line is dominating. And you could see it. You could see them just asserting their will on a team that was tired, that was worn down, and had had enough. And, that's where you start talking home field advantage and getting that number one seed and how important it can be, even though it's not essential, but it is something that can definitely help when you watch a team kind of get tired as the game goes. And I got to give props to those interior linemen. They're usually not seen, not talked about, but I'm telling you what, man, that's the strength of this team right now, because it's giving these other guys outside the freedom to play and make plays.
The interior lineman balling, but the exterior guys, I want to give some props. We're going to watch these plays. But Troy Franklin, we've been not critical, but in the walkthroughs talking about ways he can improve with his hands. And to me, I mean, I don't know, he's obviously working on it. He made a big jump yesterday, snatching that ball with his hands, making some really critical catches, coming back to the ball, not letting it get into his body. The ball security from Troy Franklin. He already has the feet, the quickness, the instincts, and now he's adding, or he did yesterday, added that hand-eye element and really snatched that ball in that touchdown. A nice catch, a couple first downs, coming back to the ball, tough in traffic catches. Troy Franklin clearly putting in the extra work to bring his hands along with his feet, and came up big yesterday along with the rest of those receivers. But let's jump into the film, shall we, Jake Plummer?
Yes, let's do it, Nathan Jackson.
Let's do it. And I do want to apologize for the hoarse nature of my voice. I got some buddies in town, and they've been staying with me all weekend. And when buddies are in town staying with you,
you lose your voice.
Fun ensues. So let's get into this film. Want to start off with this play because we talked about it last week with Troy Franklin. A man zone read on a shallow cross. He ran through it, a zone, and he got hit on that 4th and 3 against the Raiders. Well, Marvin Mims running the same thing concept. He sat down. Very similar look defensively, but he sat down in that zone, gave him a throw, and it's a 5-yard completion.
Yeah, this is nonverbal communication while you're playing. As you see, he's not looking. That means I'm sitting down. Bo knows right away he's not running through there, because if you're looking, you're booking. If not, he's going to get to that.
At you, right? He's looking at you, the quarterback.
They're looking at the quarterback. If I see his eyes, I know he's running man. He's going to keep going on that shallow cross. Great job by Mims. This is just it's not that significant of a play, but it highlights what we talked about last week as a young player making a mistake. Well, here's Mims doing it the right way, and these things matter.
And that's also Marvin Mims getting involved early offensively. And I know
Like
Sean
that.
Payton talked about it last week. We got to get Marvin Mims more touches. And they're trying to find a way. Marvin Mims didn't have a huge game, but he was involved like the rest of the receivers. And you love to see Marvin Mims getting involved because he's a playmaker.
Yeah.
Speaking of play, yeah.
Let's hope that Sean Payton has a good memory
Oh,
and uses him next week too.
ooh, memory. Put it in the memory bank. All right, moving on to another guy making plays. Our boy number 21 coming up. And this is
Oh,
not about a pass breakup. This is about the other part of the game as a defensive player making an important tackle.
dude, when we played with Champ, you remember him covering
Oh, yeah.
guys and making it frustrating downfield, but he would come up and he would make the tackles just like that. Riley Moss balling, had the best game of his career, I think. And here's this. This is
God,
sick. This is just like,
that was
hey,
insane.
I'm Hafunga and I don't care who you are. I'm going to blast you. I love
Oh,
this. This is early in the game, and this sends a message, right? This sends the message like you guys better be ready to go 4 quarters. We'll come hit your ass and hit your ass again and
show
again and
that play
again
again
and
if you could,
again.
David. Yeah, it's not very often you make a tackle with the guy that tries to block you.
Yeah.
Bang. He didn't even have to hit the guy with the ball. He hit the guy trying to block him and almost knocked him out. And then actually went over there as the trainers were trying to see if he was okay. Hufanga went over and put a hand on that guy's shoulder and made sure he was okay. It just shows the duality of these guys. They can be the absolute nicest dudes on the planet, but in a situation like that, they will eat you for
Yep.
lunch.
And here's a great job by
Ooh,
Moss,
wow.
as I've said and we've talked about. He's right there every play. You don't get
Oh,
holdings and PIs if you're getting your ass toasted. Riley Moss is right there, and this was huge early on. One of the 2 stops in the red zone to hold them to field goals. Huge by the defense. This defense, of course, is they're getting exposed a little bit, but they bow their necks and step up when they need to. And that was one of those situations where they stopped them, held them to a field goal.
yeah, and this is a team game, so the defense isn't always going to be perfect, and you're going to need complementary football on the offense to step up and do exactly what they did in that game. So they were able to work together to get this really dominant win. All right, moving on to the next play, David, which is 3rd and 3 here, and Bo using his legs and finding Michael Bandy. Oh yeah, Michael Bandy, first career touch. I don't know if it's his first career touchdown or not. I think it
I
might
think
be.
it is.
You see him lose that ball there. Well, it's not showing it, but if Bo and Cortland both sprinting over there to go grab that ball, I was standing right there on that sideline. And also that throw itself was a pretty cool throw because the angle of it. If he had thrown that behind Michael Bandy at all, it would have got picked. And
Yeah.
when I saw that guy closing in, I was like, oh, but he was a perfect throw. And Bandy
If you
scoots into
don't,
the end zone untouched.
right before the throw, you see Bo do something that's next level that not many people recognize or realize. It's like he breaks contain and his eyes go back to the center of the field. And even though you're not moving guys like they say with your eyes, it's freezing this guy in the flat. Like as you watch Bo come out into the flat, his eyes go inside. That makes this guy chasing Bandy slow down a little bit, thinking he may throw it back in there, which opens up this lane. And that's just Bo's doing so many little things that a lot of people don't see. And I hope that some of the big analysts are seeing the little teeny things like the nuances in his game. He's so smart and he's playing more comfortable. The game's slowing down somewhat for him, but that's just one little thing. A great job here. As you see, as soon as he breaks contain, watch his head go back to the inside.
Yeah.
That freezes that second guy. That
Yeah.
freezes him. He has to because that over is an option still.
Yep. Yep.
And then when he continues on, he comes back late to Bandy. Great job. Great job, Bo. Great job, Bandy.
Well, I don't know if all the analysts are noticing it, but I know one who is this guy.
Right here, dude.
That God, it's always backwards. It's like, yeah, that guy. That guy.
Over here. It's subtle. They're little subtle things
Yeah.
that Bo's doing. And love to see that. Love to see a guy get his opportunity to go score a touchdown and from practice squad to the end zone against the Packers. That's pretty awesome. His family's got to be having a pretty awesome holiday so far.
And a lot of that is because, Pat Bryant was hurt. So a lot of these guys getting opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise. Troy Franklin getting more opportunities otherwise than he would otherwise. LJ Humphrey, who we're about to see here, score a touchdown. Michael Bandy. These guys are being able to step up, and that's why depth is so important on your team.
And development of that depth. That's kudos to this coaching staff that are not just getting through the motions and going through it. I mean, Look at the league. We got a quarterback go down in Indianapolis, and they don't even have a backup worthy enough of starting. They have to go hire an old grandpa off the couch. That
Yeah.
ain't happening here in Bronco land. Guys go down, there's someone ready in a Broncos uniform that's been groomed. And that's huge kudos to the coaching staff that are doing their job that we don't get to see day in and day out, preparing a guy like Bandy and giving him that chance to step up and seize the moment when he gets a chance. Will it last forever? Maybe not. Bryant comes back. He may be back on the practice. He steps up at a crucial moment, and that's coaches doing their job.
Yeah, you remember Bandy a couple weeks back too got put in when Marvin Mims, I think, was out with a concussion and caught some punts. And so he's a very versatile player, and you can plug him in a lot of different places to help your team. All right, moving on to LJ Humphrey, another wide receiver who gets in the end zone, another guy who actually LJ Humphrey was let go, and he ended up in with the Giants, and then back with the Broncos within the same season, and really uses his body well there. Bo leads him into a nice little crevasse there between three players, but it's up to LJ to use his body to block those guys out and to make sure he's across the goal line. That was a nice throw and catch.
Yeah, this is yet again one more little thing that Bo's doing that people may not recognize is accuracy. Accuracy is huge in this game, and this is throwing a ball where the only place you could throw it, down and away, trusting your receiver. This is sick. This is next level because this, shouldn't really be a touchdown. He's covered by two guys with a third coming off from the outside. This is just having arm strength and trust and sack, having some nuts to throw this.
And also LJ Humphrey having some nuts and some ball awareness to go get that ball. It wasn't right at him. He had to go adjust and fall into that zone and secure the catch. So it's a nice throw and
Location,
catch.
man.
Yeah.
Location in real estate and in quarterback play. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, but also the receiver made a nice catch.
Oh, yeah. Give the receiver some love. Bo put it there for him to go down to.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's our job. You did your job. Now I throw you to touchdown land.
And I got to secure a ball.
Yeah, you're a receiver. That's your job to do that.
Right. It's your job to just throw it in the window.
If Bo doesn't throw it there, if Bo throws it a foot inside, that thing's batted down. If he throws it a foot outside,
it go off his hands, it is incomplete.
Yeah, he threw it perfect.
Great play by both gentlemen. Great play by both guys. I would say equal, 50-50, awesome equalness.
Bo-licious.
Yeah, that was a little Jordan-licious, if you ask me. All right, moving on to maybe the play of the game. Broncos down 9. Are we on? Yeah, there we go. Broncos down 9. Yeah, let's see it one more time, LJ.
Yeah, the momentum was they were down, man.
Broncos down 9, going deep. I mean, if
Woo!
you imagine if Surtain misses that and Christian Watson catches it and walks into the end zone, that's probably game over at that point. But Pat Surtain comes up with his first interception of the season. Wild to say that. Finally gets that, and it's largely because people don't throw to him very often, and he hasn't had opportunities like this, but he just secured probably the play of the game.
Sick play. And McKinney for the Packers had a chance to do this for the defense for the Packers, and he dropped the ball, if you remember later in the game. But this is just hopefully someone took a picture right there. Like, what an amazing effort. What a great extension catch. I'm laughing because the little high step like juke he put on when he was still down, but still the high step juke he put on post interception was the best part of this. Even though, the play had been blown dead. But watch here. This guy's got, this is a high level athlete. Watch him do the high step. Oh, yeah. You just ate some turf, homie. Yeah. Surtain, huge.
Also, look, watch his mouthpiece go in front of his eyes right when he caught it, but he still secured it. What? But
I don't know why. That's like riding a motorcycle with your helmet on the little thing on the back seat. So your helmet will protect your seat in a crash, not your brain. Like, I don't understand the mouthpiece thing, but I'm going to let him get away with it because this was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a while at a crucial moment for the Denver Broncos. Like, momentum was not in their favor, and this definitely turned the tides. What happened next was a drive by the offense, touchdown, like huge play, huge moment by your best player. Good job, Surtain.
Well, let's get into what happened next. We've got our boy Cortland Sutton. Fourth and three. dials up a pretty gutsy call there, and a great
Pretty
release by
gutsy.
Coleman.
Pretty
Yeah,
gutsy.
yeah, pretty gutsy.
This is freaking sick guts. Big nuts.
Big
Crazy.
nuts guts.
Yeah. And look
Yeah.
at the location. Yes, great route by Sutton. Oh my God, look, he ran. He ran. Great.
Whoa.
This is sick location, sick throw. The only place you could throw it, high level. Don't give a damn if it's 1st and 10 or 4th and 3. Bo doesn't care. He's unflappable. This is unbelievable throw.
Unbelievable throw. Slightly
Unbelievable.
even maybe more unbelievable route and catch by Cortland Sutton in a moment of truth there. 4th and 3, you know the ball's coming for you. You're lined up like that. Your heart's pounding. You hear the crowd. You feel the anticipation. You know the game's on the line. You got a guy crouched in your face, and you got to work to get off the press. Whereas the quarterback has a clean pocket. He just drops back. There's no one around. He could just unimpeded, just kind of throw a ball out there. Cortland Sutton has a guy in his face the whole time trying to stop him, and he's able to body control, find that ball, locate it into his hands, toe tap, first down. Huge play by both men and the offensive line.
And both men don't make that play unless the center snaps a ball. So who is the most important player on the field for the offense? It's the center.
Well, I think they're all equally important, and I think that's what you would. That's how a team works, right? All right, moving on to the next play. Now, Troy Franklin absolutely balled this game, and he's been a very productive player for this team, leading the team in targets over the last maybe 4 or 5 games, falling off a little bit in the rotation. Maybe they're trying to figure out some different kind of ways to use him, but also obviously he's been working really hard on his hands and his ability to secure those, come back to the ball, do those little things. But really it is about that football. He's already got the footwork. He's already got amazing quickness in and out of his breaks, good instincts. It's really the hands that are now, at least in this game, coming along. And he made some huge catches, especially that one right there. But that touchdown that he made was pretty impressive.
Great route here. Great throw. This is good stuff to see this young man who last week, had the one go right through his hands and he bobbled the one running through the zone. This throw right here was sick. Like you said, Nate, we've talked about the route here. It's kind of like a scissors route almost. As Franklin motions outside here, you're putting pressure on that deep safety. If the linebacker doesn't get the depth, this is pitch and catch. And what a great concept. What a great throw. Look at this. Great catch. I love seeing him use his hands. This is what he wasn't doing and didn't have a lot of faith in, was his hands. But great job by him using his hands, coming back to the ball. Franklin had a great game yesterday.
And he looked comfortable catching the football. And that's what I like to see. And I know that's what his coaches like to see, a guy who's comfortable catching that ball with his hands, coming back to the ball, knowing where the sticks are. And that touchdown, they like to use him on that motion. He motions all the way across the field, goes outside of his guy, runs all the way to – that's because he's so fast and he can do that kind of stuff. Not all receivers have the kind of wheels they can motion from one side all the way outside the opposite receiver, down and across, and get in that window at the right moment. So Troy Franklin, a lot of these receivers playing at a high level going into December and January.
There's something to be said about a guy who's struggling and they keep going to, and then has a game like this. And, back to my recollections, when I have guys that were struggling like that, it was just a constant, you work with them, you encourage them, you do the little things that we don't see behind the scenes that I know, like him and Bo are tied already because of college and all that. But I have to say the leadership of Bo has to be brought out. Because I'm sure without a doubt that there was some extra routes thrown last week where they were doing some hands catches and just encouragement, Bo, to Troy to like, hey, keep at it, man. I'm going to keep coming to you. Keep going, keep doing it. Don't worry, don't lose faith. And so that's just great leadership and belief in the player. And, good job by Franklin.
Also, like when a player, an individual player is improving technique and stuff and little things like that, it's not Sean Payton working with him to catch the ball. It's his position coach, Kerry Colbert, who was a wide receiver in the league. I played with him here in 2008, a great dude, and he's a great receiver coach. He's got these guys playing at a high level. So props to Kerry Colbert for getting these guys ready to go. All right, look, what do we got next? Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's just a little, Bo montage. Here he goes, getting chased by one of the best defenders in the league and ripping a sidearm, beautiful throw on the run. This kid, he off the script is making some sick plays like this Maybe a
Yeah.
little holding there. Maybe a little holding. They got away with it though, and here's that arm angle. He's dropping it down sidearm as he's rolling to his left, ripping a sweet throw here to little Jordan Humphreys.
See, that last play, Jake, is one of those plays that it's not a clean pocket. He's not just sitting back there playing catch. He had to make an incredibly athletic play, going to his right,
Yep.
back over to his left. That's the kind of thing that only very special athletes can do because of the closing speed and the ability of these defenses to track quarterbacks.
And we're seeing him do this
Oh,
5 or 6 times a game. And it's
yeah.
his receivers too that are learning this and getting open just like that. Franklin never gave up. That's recess ball right there. And then this just comes down to another great route by Sutton and Bo, having the ability in his arm to make this throw. It's beautifully placed, perfectly thrown, timing, everything about this. Him getting his knees down, high level. Sutton had one of his best games too. And what a great time for multiple guys to step up and have some of their best production and best games of the year right now when they needed it most.
And it's funny too because the offense has had its struggles this season and been criticized for it, but seems to be, at least yesterday, against a really good defense, rounding into form at the exact right time. 12-2, trying to secure a home field advantage and playing in that stadium, which was loud, raucous. It's at elevation. People are going to be tired. And if this team continues to play like that, I don't see why they can't win the next 3 games, have a first round bye, win those next 2 home playoff games, and then be playing in February. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but this is a team that looks like it can make that run.
They're tested too. They've won the close games. They got the lowest point differential in the win streak in history, I think. Like they're winning games barely. And it's everybody. It's all the whole team. It's everything. But I heard him talking about Jordan Love, possible MVP candidate. And I don't hear much about Bo. I don't hear much about Bo Nix. But is it time? We don't need to go public with this, except for on the Guerrilla Sports cold tub. But I mean, me as a player watching what he's done, you talk MVP, it's guys that are doing the things for their team that constantly at week in and week out. Bo outplayed Jordan Love hands down. Jordan Love threw off his back foot 60-70% of the time. Bo was stepping towards his target with confidence, making plays in the pocket. And as we saw that little montage of him breaking out of the pocket, I'm telling you what, man, I don't know when he'll get his respect, but we're getting used to it as Bronco fans and just like, oh, ho hum, there goes Bo. He rolled to his left and threw a great throw. He's doing some high level shit, high level, and winning ball games. And I'm talking about it. He's an MVP candidate, 100%.
Yeah, before today or whatever, or before yesterday, I think the 2 kind of lead race horses in the MVP race, Matt Stafford and Drake May. Drake May lost yesterday in the driving rain and sleet to the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, but they were also home underdogs to the Bills. Broncos home underdogs to the Packers. Drake May kind of folded up shop there, or at least wasn't able to get it done, but Bo Nix was. And so, those guys were drafted in the same draft. Bo was drafted after Drake May. Bo was the 6th quarterback taken in that draft, but right now kind of looks like the best among them.
He's showing me a lot, and I hope just everybody's enjoying watching this kid develop, but not only just develop, but excel and be fearless, beautiful accuracy, responding to pressure. These are all the things you want from your starting quarterback and MVP candidate. When it matters most, what happens? What end result is it? It's wins. And it's wins when it matters most, on the road, at home, down by 10, down by whatever they were to the Giants. I mean, this kid's just continues to rally and lead and say the right things, do the right things. And yes, it is a team game. There is a whole team here making huge plays, stepping up, coaches doing their thing. But I got to say, man, Bo is showing me a lot. This game right there was him stepping up and doing almost everything you would ask from a starting quarterback when it matters most. Of course, there's games left, like you said, some tough opponents, and it's going to be fun to just keep watching him do his thing.
Want to address the collaboration and the working relationship also between Sean Payton and Bo Nix, because there were some fits and starts earlier in the season. They were up in each other's faces a little bit. They are both fierce competitors. Sean Payton was with Drew Brees for 15 years and was used to a certain kind of quarterback, and maybe he had in his mind that Bo would be able to fit that mold or whatever. But to me, it seems like both of them are bending towards each other and meeting in the middle. And Sean Payton is accepting that this guy is different, and I got to find a way to initiate what he's good at and let him do these things. And Bo Nix addressed it after the game. He talked about the respect that he has for his coach for appreciating that competitive fire and letting him be himself. Sean Payton doing the same thing, and it's pretty cool to see a kind of a genius offensive coach who wants to see it a certain way, understanding that, hey, things are looking different, and that's okay.
You saw them kind of get after it early on when the play calls were coming in late.
Yeah.
And I love to see a quarterback yelling at his head coach, like, come on, because they're going to yell at you. And it's like, it was just, it's good. You mentioned something that does not happen with a championship level team has to have a tight bond and relationship between head coach and number one quarterback. And we're seeing that thing play out. We're seeing it develop. Bo's a special player. He knows the game. He knows the game. He knows how to lead. He knows how to play. He's played a lot of ball. And Coach Payton on his side has done a great job in this league as a head coach with Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's really fun to watch, though. Even just in year 2, you don't expect this kind of success and level of play. But Bo, is definitely rising up to the challenge and showing us why they drafted him high and why Sean Payton continues to talk about this guy and his abilities. And, stats aside, as one little clip I saw, a little post come in, someone sent in about, his stats will keep him from being an MVP. That just rankles me and pisses me off that this is still a stat-driven game. Derek Ryder says that. Yeah, I don't believe that, man. When you're talking 11-game win streak and you're winning games when it matters most, the ball's in your hands. And how many fourth quarter comebacks does Bo have this year? 6? Is it 6 or 7? That's MVP. MVP isn't winning games by a bunch of points and stacking up 5,000 yards and throwing 38 touchdowns. Bullshit. Winning games when it matters and being the key part of your team, that's what matters to me. And I think Bo's showing that. It's really fun to see him continue to get better.
Well, when it comes to winning games, nobody in the NFL has won more games than the Broncos right now. 12-2. At the beginning of the season, Sean Payton talked about a Super Bowl window here and said he's been around 6 or 7 teams that he felt like could win a Super Bowl, and he thinks this is one of them. A lot of folks laughed at that back then. Well, that window keeps opening a little bit wider, and nobody's laughing anymore. The Broncos are the best team in the NFL with another huge win. Jake, you going to be back in town for a little walkthrough on Wednesday?
Yeah, I will. I had to come up and see my mom and do some things up here in good old Boise, Idaho. So sorry I'm not there in the cold tub with you, but I'm here via technology. Don't you love technology? And David doing a great job patching me in. And we've had a real fun time this year because they've been winning all these games. Will we see a loss before the end of the year? I don't know. But for now, enjoy the wins. Enjoy this team. Jesus, just playing on all levels, man. Like, what a fun team to watch. And defense, offense, special teams. Right on. Good job, Nate, inspecting uniforms, man. You're doing a great job, too. You got to uniform inspector plays a role.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people you're talking about Bo, you're talking about Troy Franklin's game, Cortland Sutton, Riley Moss. But what about, I'm just saying, like, let's look at every piece that's making this thing operate and work at a high level.
Yeah, because Nate reminds him, hey, you got to tie your shoes when you go out there. Your shoe's not tied, number 10. And Bo's like, oh, hey. And he'll tie his shoe because what if he didn't and his shoe came off and he slipped? Good job, Nate.
Chemistry. It's about the chemistry, right?
We need everybody.
It takes everybody. It takes you, it takes me, it takes all you at home. Thanks for joining us on the Cold Tub. He's Jake. I'm Nate. See you guys next time. Later.
Peace, love, and mushrooms. No problem.